On my 35th birthday, my husband staggered into the party reeking of alcohol. In front of everyone, he turned on speakerphone and flirted with his 23-year-old assistant. The entire room watched me become a joke. He even tore up the divorce papers I handed him and announced to everyone that everything I ate, wore, and used was paid for with his money. At that moment, I didn't cry. I calmly pulled out the equity nominee agreement, announced that 67% of the company belonged to me, froze his accounts, initiated an audit, and personally removed him from the CEO position. He thought I was just a housewife. What he didn't know was that in this marriage, and in this capital game, I was the real one holding the cards. Lucas walked into my birthday party smelling of alcohol, his tie crooked, a lipstick mark on his face. The room went silent for a second. Then laughter rippled through the crowd. Sorry. He waved his hand without even looking at me. A client was being a pain. His phone rang. It was Mia, the company's new assistant. 23 years old. 100,000 followers on TikTok. Lucas actually put the call on speaker. Baby, are you home yet? The girl's syrupy voice burst out of the phone. I miss you. The guest's expressions were priceless. Lucas laughed. I'm entertaining clients. What's up? Nothing. I just wanted to show you the necklace I just bought. Mia sent a video. She was wearing the diamond necklace I'd seen in a magazine, priced at $1.2 million. Do you think it looks good on me? Someone whistled. Lucas. You lucky dog. Mr. One laughed loudly. Successful men, these things are unavoidable. Everyone was laughing. Everyone except me. I looked at the sugar plaque on the cake that read Happy Birthday, Evelyn, and picked up the knife. Thank you all for coming today, I said steadily, especially to thank one special guest. I cut the first slice of cake. Then I pulled a folder out from under the cake stand and handed it to Lucas. A birthday present, I said. Sign it. He took it, squinting through his drunken haze. His face changed instantly. Divorce agreement. For bold black characters. Are you out of your mind? Lucas slammed the papers on the table. Evelyn, do you have any idea what you're doing? I do, I said. Divorce. Dead silence. Lucas stared at me, then suddenly laughed, a condescending, pitying laugh. Divorce? With what? He raised his voice so everyone could hear. Everything you eat, wear, and use is my money. Leave me. And you couldn't even afford that dress. He grabbed the agreement. Rip, tore it in half. The scraps fluttered down like snow onto the cream-covered cake. Just be a good housewife. Lucas patted my face. Stop making a scene. You're embarrassing yourself. My phone vibrated. A message from Mia. Just one line, sis. You don't even qualify as a replacement. I looked up. Every guest was staring at me, with pity, with curiosity, with the certainty that I'd already lost. Mrs. Jean quietly shook her head. Mr. Wang lifted his glass and looked away. They thought the show was over. I bent down and pulled another envelope from beneath the cake stand. Everyone, I said, holding it up. My voice clear. Since Lucas says the company is his, the assets are his, everything is his. I paused and watched the color drain from his face. Then are you sure that this company, Hongxing Capital, really belongs to him? Silence. Then Lucas burst out laughing. Evelyn, have you been drinking? He snatched the envelope from me. If Hongxing isn't mine, whose is it? I built it with my own hands. You sit at home arranging flowers and drinking tea. What do you know about business? He tore open the envelope, pulled out the document. The smile froze on his face. It was an equity nominee agreement. Date of signing, 5 years ago, the day the company was founded. Printed clearly in black and white. Party A, actual owner Evelyn Zhou. Party B, nominee holder Lucas Wang. Nominee shareholding ratio, 67%. Lucas's hands began to shake. That's impossible. He flipped to the last page and saw the two signatures, his and mine, and the notary's seal. You forged this, he roared. I never signed anything like this. You did, I said softly. 5 years ago, when you begged me for help. You said you needed someone you trusted completely to make sure control of the company wouldn't be diluted. You said, honey, only you can help me. I remember that night clearly. He held me and talked about how hard starting a business was. How cunning investors could be. How we needed insurance. I believed him. So I signed and let the shares be held in his name. But I protected myself. I insisted on this nominee agreement and on notarizing it. Back then, he thought it didn't matter. What's mine is yours anyway. He doesn't think that now. This is marital fraud. Lucas's eyes were bloodshot. Lawyer! Call my lawyer! His personal attorney was already there. Attorney Chen walked over, took the agreement, and studied it for a long time. His face grew paler by the second. Lucas, he said quietly, this agreement is legally valid. What? Equity nominee arrangements are legal, and it's notarized, Attorney Chen said, unable to meet Lucas's eyes. Legally speaking, the 67% stake does belong to Ms. Evelyn. The room exploded. Whispers turned into gasps. Mia called again. Lucas fumbled to hang up, but accidentally hit speakerphone. Lucas, have you seen the trending news? Mia shrieked. Someone filmed you tearing up the agreement. What is your ex-wife doing? Shut up, Lucas shouted. The call ended. Then Mia sent a voice message, played aloud for everyone to hear. She's just scheming through marriage. Disgusting. I picked up the microphone. For the first time, I looked straight into the camera. Someone was live streaming. Scheming through marriage? I repeated, then smiled. Miss Mia, you're 23 years old, wearing a $1.2 million necklace, living in an apartment he bought, spending money from the secondary card he gave you. I paused. So what exactly are you scheming? Life itself. Lucas completely lost it. He grabbed his phone and called the bank. Freeze all accounts under Evelyn's name immediately. Now! The bank manager was at the party. He took a call, then walked over. His expression awkward. I'm sorry, Mr. Lucas, he said. We can't do that. Why the hell not? Because, the manager glanced at me. Most of the accounts you're asking to freeze are primary accounts, and the authorized controller of those accounts is Ms. Evelyn. You only have secondary access. Lucas deflated like a balloon with the air sucked out. Then his company's CFO rushed over, pale and shaking. Lucas. Several investors just called, the CFO stammered. They're asking whether the company's actual controlling party has changed. The stock price began to fluctuate. Lucas stared at me like he was looking at a stranger. What do you want? His voice was hoarse. I walked back to the cake and cut a second slice. It's simple, I said. Since we're getting divorced, let's do a public audit. From day one of the company's founding. Every single transaction. 3 days later, Mia asked to meet me. She chose a trendy influencer cafe, sitting in the most visible seat, wearing sunglasses like a celebrity. I showed up in a simple suit. No makeup, Evelyn, she said, taking off her sunglasses. Her eyes were red. Let's talk. About what? About Lucas. She rested a hand on her lower belly. I'm pregnant. I picked up my water and took a sip. Oh, she froze, clearly not expecting me to be so calm. The baby is his. Mia bit her lip. I know I wronged you, but the child is innocent. Evelyn, step aside. I'll compensate you. Compensate me how? I'll have Lucas give you more money, she said. Take the money. Start over somewhere else. Wouldn't that be better? Why make things so ugly? I set the glass down. Mia, I asked, are you recording this? Her face changed instantly. I am, I said, taking out my phone and stopping the recording. Everything from I'm pregnant onward. Want me to play it back for you? She shot to her feet. You set me up? Sit down, I said. The show isn't over yet. She stiffly sat back down. You said I should take the money and leave, I said, looking straight at her. Do you know how much asset Lucas has transferred to you over the past 5 years? Her eyes darted away. Apartments, cars, luxury goods, cash. I listed calmly. About 12 million in total. And all of it came from the company, my company. You're lying. I have the paper trail, I said. Bank records, financial statements, transfer logs, the full set. She started to panic. And another thing, I continued slowly. All those posts on social media about your romance with the CEO of Hongxing Capital. The photos with Lucas. The company logo in the background. I paused. Did you ever sign a non-disclosure agreement? Mia's face went white. She hadn't. Lucas never bothered with details like that. You didn't, right? I smiled. But company policy is very clear: no employee may disclose company information or use the company's image for personal promotion without authorization. Violators bear legal responsibility. What do you want? Her voice trembled. At that moment, someone walked over. My lawyer. He placed a legal notice in front of Mia. Ms. Joe is formally accusing you of infringing on company trade secrets and damaging the company's reputation, he said. This is a cease and desist letter. As for your suspected acquisition of company assets through improper relationships, we've already reported it to the police. Mia screamed. You wouldn't dare. She pulled out her phone and aimed it at me. I'm posting this online. Let everyone see what a vicious ex-wife you are. Go ahead, I said. But let me remind you, the video you're filming on a company-issued phone belongs to the company. Posting it without permission would be secondary infringement. Her finger froze over the send button. And one more thing, I added. If you post any false information, or try to threaten me with this pregnancy, I will immediately file an additional report for extortion. Mia's phone slipped from her hand. It shattered on the floor, just like the life she had so carefully planned. In the first week of the audit, Lucas was still fighting. He called an emergency board meeting, trying to stabilize the situation. Everyone, this is just a misunderstanding, he said, standing at the head of the table. Evelyn is my wife. We have some family issues, but she would never actually hurt the company. The executives lowered their heads in silence. The first person to raise his hand was Mr. Lee, one of the company's earliest investors. Lucas. Mr. Lee said, the audit team found that over the past 3 years, you had 5 large transfers with unknown destinations, a total of $34 million. Those were legitimate investments. Where are they? Mr. Lee asked. They don't appear on any reports. The money went into 3 overseas accounts under the names of Mia Zhang, your mother, and your younger brother. The room fell even quieter. And another thing, another director spoke up. The villa you purchased last year in the company's name, the property is registered under Mia Zhang. The board never approved that. Sweat broke out on Lucas's forehead. This is a family matter, he tried to argue. This is embezzlement, Mr. Lee said, standing up. I hereby announce that I am withdrawing all future investment in Hongxing Capital and reserve my right to pursue legal action. He walked out. Then the second investor. Then the third. Like dominoes falling, Lucas stormed into my office. His eyes bloodshot. Are you satisfied now? He shouted. You're destroying the company, Evelyn. I supported you for 5 years. Is this how you repay me? I closed the financial report on my screen. Lucas, I asked calmly, do you know how the company's first round of funding came together? He said nothing. It was me, I said. I was 3 months pregnant, wearing high heels, and accompanied you to meet 12 investors. In the end, Mr. Lee only invested because of my father. And do you know why the second project succeeded? I pulled 7 all-nighters to finish the full market analysis report. What were you doing back then? You were at a bar, celebrating your successful fundraising. I turned the laptop screen toward him. On it were emails, documents, and meeting records from every major milestone over the past 5 years. Sender, Evelyn. Recipient, Lucas CC. Every key stakeholder, every one of your so-called brilliant decisions was backed by me. I said softly. And this is how you repaid me, by bringing your mistress's video to my birthday party and tearing my dignity to shreds in public. Lucas took a step back. That afternoon, the media narrative began to shift. All the previous Alpha CEO romance gossip turned into founder suspected of draining company assets, Hongxing Capital in turmoil. Overnight, Lucas's image flipped, from rising young tycoon to living off his wife while playing the big shot. And Mia? She posted a selfie on Weibo, wearing that diamond necklace. Captioned, the wife seat isn't something just anyone can sit in. The internet went to work. Within 2 hours, her entire online presence was torn apart. Her degree was bought. Her work history was fabricated. Her previous boyfriend was also a married man. Public opinion began to turn, and I said nothing. I was waiting for the final straw. At 8 p.m., the board issued an official announcement, by resolution of the interim board. All duties of Mr. Lucas Wang are hereby suspended. Ms. Evelyn Zhou, the actual controlling party, will serve as acting CEO. Lucas called me. I declined. Then a text came through. Honey, I was wrong. Let's talk. I stared at the word honey. 5 years. The first time he'd admitted fault. Only after losing all his power. Lucas asked to meet at the law firm. He looked gaunt, unshaven, his suit wrinkled. Evelyn. His voice was hoarse. Does it really have to be like this? 5 years together, don't you feel anything at all? I didn't answer. The lawyers were present. Let's settle this privately, Lucas said, sliding a document toward me. Split the assets 50-50. You take the house, the cars. I'll give you another 20 million in cash. You withdraw the case. We part on good terms. I didn't even glance at the papers. I want a court judgment, I said. A public trial. Are you insane? Lucas slammed the table. Family scandals shouldn't be aired. You want the whole world to know? The moment you hit speakerphone at my birthday party, I met his eyes. It was already public. He choked on his words. Lucas, didn't you want to talk about feelings? I leaned back. Fine. Let's talk. How many of my birthdays do you remember in the past 5 years? Silence. 1. I answered for him. Last year, you told your assistant to grab a random dress. You didn't even remove the tag. I only realized when I put it on that it was Mia's size. Do you remember our wedding anniversary? No. Because every year, you were on a business trip with different people. Do you remember where you were the day I miscarried? Lucas jerked his head up. You don't. I smiled faintly, my eyes burning dry. I was in surgery. Your phone was off. Later I found out you were celebrating Mia's birthday. Stop, his voice trembled. Why? I asked. Didn't you say I was scheming through marriage? Then let me tell you what marriage really was. I opened my phone and played a recording. It was his voice, talking to Mia. That old hag just wants money all day, Lucas said with contempt. Once I finish moving the assets, I'll divorce her. She won't get a cent. Mia giggled. Then hurry up. I want to live in a bigger place. Relax. 6 months max. The recording ended. Lucas's face went ashen. When did you? 3 months ago. I said, turning it off. The first night you didn't come home and said you were working late. He covered his face. Lucas, you never loved me, I said quietly. You loved my usefulness. I ran your company, upheld your good husband image, and gave you the freedom to cheat without consequences. Now I have no value to you. So you're on your knees. He actually knelt, right in front of me, clutching the hem of my coat. Evelyn, I really know I was wrong. Please give me one more chance. I'll cut Mia off immediately. I'll do anything you say. I pulled my coat free. Too late. My phone vibrated. Mia was calling nonstop. Lucas didn't even look, he hung up. But the media had already exploded. Mistress Mia spotted drinking alone at night. Crying he doesn't want me anymore. Insider reveals. Lucas dumps mistress to save career. Public opinion fully swung to my side. Lucas stared at the headlines and suddenly broke down crying. Like a child. I didn't soften. I opened another folder. Inside were every chat log, transfer record, and intimate photo between him and Mia. These, I said to the lawyer, submit them to the court as supplemental evidence. Lucas looked up, his face soaked with tears. Evelyn, his voice shattered. Do you really hate me that much? I gathered my things and stood up. At the door, I turned back and looked at him. The man who once radiated confidence was now kneeling on the floor, utterly defeated. I don't hate you, I said. I just don't love you anymore. Mia made her big move. She posted a prenatal exam report on Weibo, a blurry ultrasound image. But the words intrauterine early pregnancy were visible. Caption, baby. Mommy will protect you, no matter how others hurt us. The internet blew up. A child is always the most sensitive trigger. Opinions split instantly. Some cursed her as a homewrecker trying to baby trap her way up. Others said, the child is innocent. The wife shouldn't be so ruthless. Lucas saw the report and briefly came back to life. He choked up in front of reporters, no matter what. The child is my responsibility. Please give us some private space. He thought this was his turning point. He was wrong. My legal team filed a motion with the court, given the party's claim of pregnancy. We requested re-verification by an independent, authoritative medical institution. Mia panicked. First she refused, citing medical privacy. The court ordered compulsory enforcement. She went. 3 days later, the report came back. There was no pregnancy. The ultrasound report was fake. The so-called doctor's signature was nothing more than a template pulled from the internet. The internet exploded. Nothing is more terrifying than the rage of people who realize they've been deceived. Mia deleted all her social media posts, but screenshots were already everywhere. Someone dug up the fact that the hospital on the report didn't even exist. Others contacted a real OBGYN, who confirmed that the ultrasound image template was a 5-year-old version, long obsolete. Public opinion came crashing back like an avalanche. A recorded phone call between Lucas and Mia leaked. "Did you lie to me? You were never pregnant? What choice did I have? You wouldn't divorce her, I had to force her hand. You destroyed me. You destroyed me first." Dogs biting dogs, nothing but fur flying. In the middle of it all, people started asking, did Evelyn know all along that Mia's pregnancy was fake? Did she set this up and wait for Mia to blow herself up? The controversy flared, but I didn't need to explain anything, because the next day, another bomb dropped. 3 years ago, Mia had used the same fake pregnancy trick to force another man to divorce and scammed him out of $2 million. There was a court judgment. There was an audio recording of her own admission. Ironclad evidence. This wasn't her first time. She just kicked the wrong steel plate this time. Mia completely unraveled. She went live, crying hysterically, accusing Evelyn of framing her, accusing Lucas of abandoning her, saying the whole world had wronged her. Then she did something stupid. She released a secretly recorded video, my conversation with her at the cafe. But it was edited. Only the part where I said, "So what you're scheming is life itself," was kept, making me look aggressive and cruel. She thought this would turn the tide. She forgot what I had told her, the video copyright belonged to the company. My lawyers immediately issued a notice. This video was recorded in a business setting. The cafe is a regular location for company meetings and involves company matters. Recording and publishing it without authorization constitutes infringement. Furthermore, malicious editing constitutes defamation. The platform took the video down. Mia's account was banned, and then I released the full, unedited version, including the part where she said, "I'll have Lucas give you more money." After watching the complete clip, the internet flipped completely. A mistress threatening the wife? Where does she get the nerve? Faking a pregnancy too? Disgusting. Support Evelyn. Sue her into the ground. Mia disappeared from public view, but she didn't disappear from my legal files. 3 days later, she received a court summons. Commercial defamation, infringement, attempted extortion. 3 charges combined. This time, no one could save her. The 2 small brands she endorsed terminated their contracts immediately. A cosmetic surgery clinic demanded repayment of the $200,000 she owed in unpaid fees. Her rented apartment was reclaimed. The landlord saw the news and didn't want trouble. She called Lucas. He didn't answer. She sent hateful messages. He blocked her. With nowhere left to go, Mia made one final, desperate move. She released a private audio recording. It was a bedroom conversation between her and Lucas. The content was obscene, but the key line was clear: Evelyn is just a decoration. The company will be mine sooner or later. Once I kick her out, I'll marry you. Public opinion wavered briefly. Some people began to pity Mia. She was deceived too. Others cursed Lucas, scumbag, lying to both women. Lucas panicked and issued a statement claiming the recording was fake. But voiceprint analysis came back quickly. Authentic. He became a pariah overnight. And that was when I released another video. It showed chat records between Mia and a marketing account manager. In the video, Mia said, "Push the narrative that the wife is vicious. Post more photos of Evelyn in designer brands, say she's a gold digger too. Hire bots to say Lucas cheated because Evelyn was too strong and neglectful at home. Oh, and fabricate some flirty chat logs between Evelyn and other men." The price was clearly listed, $500,000. The internet erupted completely. Nothing enrages people more than realizing they've been manipulated. So everything was staged by her? Pretending to be the victim. Disgusting. Evelyn is the real victim here, cheated on and cyberbullied. Mia's accounts were reported and permanently banned. Her real name, home address, and her parents' information were all exposed. Someone even sent funeral wreaths to her hometown. Her father was hospitalized from the stress. Her mother called me in tears, begging, Please spare my daughter, she's still young. I was silent for a moment. Then I said, Ma'am, she's 23. When she forged medical records, attempted extortion, and spread defamation, she didn't think about sparing me. On the other end of the line, there was only crying. A week later, Mia was taken in by the police for investigation. The commercial defamation case was formally filed. She stood outside the courthouse, surrounded by reporters, gaunt and ghost-like. One reporter asked, "Do you regret it now?" She stared into the camera, eyes hollow. "I only regret picking the wrong person." The media turned it into a headline, "Mistress's final confession, I only regret picking the wrong person," accompanied by a photo of her being escorted into a police car, side by side with a photo of me calmly cutting my birthday cake. The contrast was brutal. That night, I received a text from an unknown number, "You won." It was Mia. I didn't reply. I deleted it. She was never my opponent. She was just something I threw away while taking out the trash. Lucas was kicked out of the mansion. It had been our marital home, but the deed carried only my name. Back then he'd said, "Put it under yours. It shows my sincerity." Now, that sincerity became his grave. He stood at the gate dragging a suitcase, security blocking his way. "This is my wife's house," he shouted. The guard replied coldly, "The owner, Ms. Evelyn, has instructed that no unauthorized persons may enter." Unauthorized person. 3 words that crushed him. His credit cards were frozen. His car was repossessed, it was registered under the company, and the company now answered to me. Business partners stopped taking his calls. He tried to make a comeback. He reached out to an old college classmate, saying he had a new project. The man listened, then sneered, "Lucas, what do you have left now? Your credibility is gone. Your reputation is ruined. Your ex-wife is suing you, and your mistress is dragging you down. Who would dare invest in you?" Lucas sat there, stunned, staring out the cafe window. Suddenly, memories surfaced. The early days of the startup, when he was hospitalized with stomach pain, and I ran back and forth between the hospital and the office every day until I collapsed in the hallway myself. The day a funding round fell through, he drank himself senseless, and I held him and said, "It's okay. I still have my dowry. I can help you." Every night he came home from business dinners. No matter how late, there was always a light on in the living room. That light would never be on for him again. He called me. I declined. He texted, "Honey, I just want to see you once." Just once. I didn't reply. He showed up downstairs at the company and was stopped by security. He stood in the pouring rain for 2 hours before the police persuaded him to leave. That night, he went live to apologize. Messy hair, swollen red eyes. He looked like a beggar. I was wrong. I really was wrong. "Evelyn, please give me one more chance. I don't want anything. I just want you." 200,000 viewers. The comments flooded in. "Why didn't you think of that earlier? Regret now? Too late. Scumbag. You deserve it." He ended the stream in tears. The next day, the headline read, "Former Hongxing Capital CEO livestreams begging for remarriage." Mocked by the entire internet. Then came the deadliest blow. The Financial Industry Association issued an announcement following investigation. Lucas Wang is suspected of misappropriating company assets and making false disclosures. Effective immediately, his membership is revoked, and all institutions are advised to exercise caution in hiring him. It meant one thing. He was finished in finance, for life. His last shred of dignity shattered. I didn't indulge in revenge, because the company needed me. The audit results came out. Over 5 years, Lucas had siphoned off more than 80 million through various schemes. Some of it was recovered. The rest became debt he owed the company. I held an all-hands meeting. "The past 5 months have been hard on everyone," I said, looking out at the room. "The company went through turmoil, but our core business remains intact because our true value doesn't lie in one person, but in everyone here." Applause. Next, I'll be launching a new fund focused on female founders and medical technology. I continued. Teams from existing projects who choose to stay will receive a 30% salary increase. Those who leave will get N+3 severance. After the meeting, 2/3 of the staff stayed, including several executives Lucas had once relied on the most. They told me privately, "Evelyn, a lot of those projects were actually driven by you behind the scenes." Lucas was just the name. He didn't understand technology or the market. Now that you're back, the company has hope. I didn't feel triumphant. I just got busier. Government healthcare tenders, I led the team myself. 7 consecutive all-nighters. Refining the proposal to perfection. On the day we won the bid, reporters blocked the company entrance. MS. Joe. Some people are calling you a capital executioner, someone who specializes in taking down scumbag men. What do you think? I stopped. I'm not an executioner, I said. I just took back what was mine. And Lucas's current situation, anything you want to say? No. Will you forgive him? I looked into the camera and stayed silent for 3 seconds. Forgiveness is God's job, I said. My job is to run the company well and be accountable to my employees and investors. The article came out with the headline, Evelyn Joe, I'm not a goddess of revenge, I'm just a CEO. The stock price began to rise. Hit new highs. And right then, Lucas tried to sue me. On the grounds of fraud in the equity nominee agreement. The court dismissed it within 7 days. The reason was simple, the agreement was authentic, legally valid, and signed by him personally. His final struggle failed. Mia vanished completely, rumor had it she returned to her hometown and never showed her face again. As for me, I went to work at 7 a.m. and left at 10 p.m. every day. The office lights stayed on late into the night. But this time, it was for myself. The divorce trial opened, live-streamed nationwide. Over 3 million viewers. Lucas appeared in court, dressed in a suit, but hollow-eyed, looking 10 years older. I didn't look at him. The judge read the verdict. It was long, but it boiled down to a few points. Divorce granted. Due to Lucas's major fault during the marriage, infidelity and asset transfer. And because the company's equity rightfully belongs to Evelyn, Lucas leaves the marriage with nothing. Lucas must return $63 million in misappropriated company assets within 1 year. The plaintiff bears no compensation obligation. Leaves with nothing. 4 words. Broadcast live. Echoed across the internet. Lucas lost control in court. Judge, this isn't fair, he shouted. She set me up. She planned this years ago. That nominee agreement was a trap. The judge struck the gavel. The defendant will remain calm. How can I be calm? Lucas pointed at me. Evelyn, say something. Did you start scheming against me 5 years ago? Did you ever love me at all? The courtroom fell silent. All cameras turned to me. I slowly raised my head and looked at him. Lucas, I said quietly, but through the microphone. Every word was crystal clear. For 5 years, I helped you secure 17 projects, managed 26 investors, apologized for you when you were drunk, and pulled you back when your ego got out of control. The day I miscarried, you were celebrating Mia's birthday. The day my father died, you were overseas shopping with her. On my birthday, you tore my dignity to shreds in public. I paused. You say I schemed against you. Then let me tell you, I simply stopped letting you exploit me. Dead silence. Then the gavel came down. Judgment is final. I signed the papers. My hand was steady. Lucas stared at the verdict, then collapsed into his chair, sobbing uncontrollably, like a child. No one pitied him. The camera shifted to me. I capped the pen and gave the judge a slight bow. Then I turned and walked away. I didn't look back. Not once. Lucas rented a basement room. $800 a month. No windows. He tried to find a job. He sent out 300 resumes. Not a single response. One headhunter told him bluntly, MS. Joe has already made it clear. No one in the industry dares to hire you. That's when he realized I didn't even need to personally blacklist him. His name was already toxic. The media stopped covering him. Occasionally, a self-media account would post updates like the current state of that freeloader ex-husband, with a secretly taken photo of him squatting outside his basement room, eating instant noodles. The comment section was nothing but mockery. He tried reaching out to old friends. No one answered his calls. He sent WeChat messages, only to find he'd been blocked. Sitting alone in the dark, memories flooded back. The first time I made a proposal for him, he said it wasn't perfect enough. So I redid it 10 times. The time I drank myself into alcohol poisoning just to help him entertain clients. Every argument we ever had, how I was always the one to back down. Because he would always say, I'm under so much pressure, can't you be more understanding? But had he ever understood me? No. He thought my sacrifices were a given. He thought my love was endless. Now, he had used it all up. He opened his phone and saw a news alert: Evelyn Zhou's new fund raises over 10 billion yen in first round. Valuation exceeds 100 billion yen. The photo showed me at the press conference. Confident, composed, radiant. A version of me he claimed he had never seen. No, he had seen it. He just chose to ignore it. He thought it was merely the glow of a supportive wife. Now he understood. That light had always been mine. Before, I used it to illuminate him. Now, I used it to light my own path. He covered his face and cried. But this time, there was no audience. Even he despised his own tears. 3 days later, the tax authorities showed up. Someone had reported him for tax evasion. The evidence was airtight. He was facing massive fines, possibly even criminal charges. The whistleblower was anonymous, but he knew who it was. Me, not revenge. Just taking out the trash. One last time. Clean and decisive. At the celebration banquet for the new fund, my best friend quietly asked me, "Evelyn, tell me the truth, when you signed that nominee shareholder agreement back then, were you already guarding against a day like this?" The room went momentarily quiet. Several others turned to look at me. I swirled my wineglass and smiled. Yes. They all sucked in a sharp breath. You already knew he would cheat? No. I shook my head, but I knew human nature. I looked out at the glittering night view beyond the window. My father once told me, no matter how much you love someone, always keep one card for yourself. It's not scheming, it's self-preservation. So on the day I got married, I had already decided, if he treated me well for the rest of his life, that card would never be used. I'd take it to my grave. If he changed, I didn't finish the sentence. But everyone understood. But isn't that too ruthless? My friend asked softly. He's really miserable now. Miserable? I asked back. What he's lost is money and status. What I lost was a child. Time with my father when he was dying. And 5 years of youth and trust. I set down my glass. I'm not a saint. I can't forgive. But I also won't keep hating. Hatred is a waste of energy. I have more important things to do. Public opinion split down the middle. Some praised me as clear-headed, a role model for women. Others cursed me as calculating, a terrifying woman. I didn't explain. The new fund's first project launched, supporting female entrepreneurs who had been exploited by ex-husbands and left with nothing. The first beneficiary was a single mother whose ex-husband had transferred assets away, leaving her homeless with 2 children, sleeping under a bridge. We helped her recover her property and provided startup capital. She cried as she told me, "Ms. Zhou, thank you." I thought my life was over. I hugged her. "It's not," I said, "as long as you don't give up on yourself." The report came out under the headline, "From Victim to Savior, the Controversy and Redemption of Evelyn Zhou." The media tone shifted again. In the end, public opinion stood with me. Not because I was perfect, but because they saw I wasn't taking revenge. I was rebuilding my life, and rebuilding hope for others. Lucas came to my company. Security stopped him downstairs. He held up a cardboard sign that read, "Evelyn, please see me once. I'm about to die." Onlookers took photos. I told security to let him up. In the conference room, he dropped to his knees in front of me. "Evelyn, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong," he sobbed. "The tax bureau is fining me 5 million. I can't pay it. I'll go to prison, so?" I asked, Can you withdraw the report?" He grabbed the leg of my pants. For the sake of our 5 years of marriage, I pulled my leg back. "Lucas, do you remember where you were the day my father died?" He froze. "You were shopping for bags with Mia." I answered for him. "I called you. You said busy. Later. And then turned off your phone." That night, I kept vigil alone, holding my father's portrait. I wanted to cry, but couldn't, because I knew I had no one to rely on anymore. From that day on, I told myself, "Evelyn, you can only rely on yourself." He collapsed onto the floor. I'm sorry, no need to apologize," I said, standing up. "The tax issue, I can't help you. The mistakes you made are yours to bear. You're really going to be this heartless?" I walked to the door, then turned back. The heartless one was the man who turned off his phone in front of my father's funeral hall. Not me. His last shred of hope snapped. A week later, he sold everything he could, including the diamond necklace Mia had returned. He scraped together a little over $3 million. For the rest, he signed IOUs. But the industry had completely blacklisted him. No one dared hire him. He moved to a distant suburb and found work as a supermarket stock clerk. $3,000 a month. Once a rising star in finance, now hauling boxes every day. Mia disappeared for good. Some said she married an older man. Others said she went south. It didn't matter anymore. A reporter once ran into Lucas and asked, "Do you regret it?" He stared at the camera for a long time. Finally, he said, "I regret it, but it's useless." Then he turned, pushed his shopping cart, and disappeared between the shelves, like a speck of dust, swallowed by time. The cover of Fortune magazine was me. The headline read, "The Most Dangerous Woman, How Evelyn Zhou Turned 5 Years of Silence into a $100 billion Empire." The article told my story, my controversies, my rise. The photographer asked me to take off my wedding ring for the shoot. I did. A pale white mark circled my finger, like a scar. But soon, it would fade. At the end of the interview, the reporter asked, "Ms. Zhou, many people say your success was built on the ruins of a marriage. How do you see that?" I thought for a moment. Marriage is not an accessory to a career, I said, and a career is not compensation for a failed marriage. I didn't build a fund to prove that I can survive without a man. I did it because this is what I'm good at and what I love. That's all. The reporter pressed on. "Would you get married again?" I smiled. "If I meet the right person, maybe, but marriage will never be a mandatory item on my life checklist. My value doesn't need to be validated by marriage." When the piece was published, it spread across the internet. The capital world reshuffled. People who once called me Lucas's wife now called me Ms. Zhou. Those who once thought I relied on a man were now asking me for investment. I didn't get arrogant. I just worked harder and lived more seriously. A close friend asked me, "Do you have any regrets now?" I thought about it. Yes. What kind? I regret not waking up sooner. But that's okay. I'm awake now. And it's not too late. New York. Late at night, I stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows of my new headquarters, overlooking the lights of Manhattan. On my phone, the final piece of news about Lucas: he was sentenced to 1 year in prison, suspended for 2 years, for tax evasion, fined $5 million. He paid it, using every ounce of strength he had left for the rest of his life. Mia married a 60-year-old businessman. Rumor has it he's abusive. But I don't care. They're all part of the past now. Like the night view outside, brilliant, but distant. My friend knocked and came in, holding 2 glasses of red wine. "A toast?" She smiled. "New headquarters. $100 billion valuation. Entrepreneur of the year." "Evelyn, you won." "Not winning," I said, clinking glasses with her. "Starting over. Was it worth it? These 5 years?" I looked out the window. I thought of my birthday banquet, paper scraps falling like snow onto the cake. I thought of him kneeling on the floor, begging me. I thought of the sound of the gavel striking in court. Then I thought of the first time I met him, white shirt, library. "Hey, can I borrow a pen?" Sunlight on his face, a beautiful smile. In that moment, I truly fell for him. I truly believed I'd spend my life with him. The road just went wrong somewhere along the way. It was worth it, I said softly. Every experience, good or bad, made me who I am today. I don't thank the people who hurt me, but I thank the version of myself who survived. My friend hugged me. "What's next?" "Making the fund the best in Asia." I smiled. "Then maybe traveling the world. Maybe falling in love. Maybe doing nothing at all, just lying in the sun." "Sounds nice." "Yeah." We drank quietly. The night was gentle. My phone buzzed with a news alert. Hongxing Capital officially renamed Zhou Capital. Evelyn Zhou completes absolute control. The photo showed me ringing the bell at the NYSE. A bright smile. Light in my eyes. My light. No longer a reflection of anyone else. I turned off my phone, raised my glass toward the sea of lights outside the window, and said softly, to myself, and to every woman who woke up alone in the dark, "We don't need revenge. We just need to take back our own lives, and keep moving forward, without looking back."